Alrighty, students, in today's lesson, we are going to be learning how to make the statements connected to our input-output boxes. So before we do that, we need to make sure we read the question and then the statement, because the statement does make a difference in what we're trying to find. I'll do two kinds of examples today so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and get started. So first we have our input box. Go ahead and make yourself a little chart that looks a little like this. These are going to be your trucks. These are going to be your cars. And then you have a 12, 18, 15, 21, 23. And then we have a mystery number. We'll figure that out in a little bit. Now in the center, you're supposed to put your rule. Okay. Now from 12 to 18, we notice we have an increasing pattern. That means we will be adding or we will be multiplying. Okay, so we're going to start with adding and see if that works. So if I want to get from 12 to 18, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, I have to add 6. Let's see if that rule works. 12 plus 6 equals 18. That rule does work. Let's see if it works for 15. 15 plus 6 equals 21. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, that's correct. So that means that 23 plus 6 will give me 29. So pretty simple, straightforward. Make sure you're working it out on top. Now let's complete the statement. The statement says the blank is the number of trucks blank by blank. There's not a lot of information here to help me write my statement, but it does say number of trucks. Okay, and this is your side of the trucks. So blank is a number of trucks by blank. So here you're going to put what you did. So added. And then the number by 6. But what goes here? Well, the name of the second thing you're getting, the output, which is the cars. So the number of cars. So let's read that completely. The number of cars is the number of trucks added by 6. Let me double check that. The number of trucks added by 6 gives me the number of cars. That is correct. Great job. Now, not all questions are going to be this simple. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show you a different example. And in this example, you kind of have to play around with the wording a little bit. So same thing that we did earlier. We're going to look at our input-output box. Now the answer choices are now your statements, okay? Let's ignore that part first and work on the top part, which is our input-output tables. And we need to find our rule. So we make our little graph right here. We have 2 and 16, 5 and 40, 8 and 64, 10 and 80. Okay, so this one's a little bit harder than the other one. Okay, I don't know if you can see it right there. So let's see, this is the number of boxes and then this is the number of pencils. So if I'm going to get from 2 to 16, that is an increasing pattern, which means I will be adding or multiplying. If I add first, I try it out with adding 2 plus 14 equals 16. But if I try 5 plus 14, it does not equal 40. So it cannot be adding. So I have to do multiplication. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 8 is 16. So I'm going to go ahead and try times 8. Okay, so 5 times 8 also gives me 40. 8 times 8 gives me 64 and 80. So that looks like that is the rule. So now I can get rid of some of these. The number of boxes times 8 equals number of pencils. Number of boxes divided by 8 equals number of pencils. Number of pencils times 8 equals number of pencils. Number of boxes times 9 equals number of pencils. So we can get rid of 2, letter B and letter D, because they do not mention multiplying times 9 or dividing by 8. Here's why reading very carefully is so important. Here they put number of boxes first. Then down here they put number of pencils. Okay, so number of boxes times 8 equals number of pencils. Number of boxes times 8 equals pencils. That sounds about right. Then we have number of pencils, which is right here, times 8 equals your number of boxes. That one's telling me that I'm starting from the end to the beginning. So that one actually does not make sense anymore. Meaning that letter A is the only one that makes sense. Notice how in this one we said number of boxes first. And in this one, we said number of cars first. Okay? It makes a difference what they're asking you and how they're telling you. So make sure you're very careful when you're reading, because this will confuse you if you do not make sure to read with a lot of care, boys and girls.